So far on the road to glory, Snowstorm breezed through, sliding underneath its opponents and sending their foes down the pit while falling down themselves before defeating Dietor in the Heat Final. And last week, 259 slammed everything with their mighty blade before casting P1 out of the competition and securing themselves a slot in the Grand Finals. Now let's see who will be joining them in Heat C. Hello and welcome back to Robot Wars. And I can guarantee that bots are gonna be flying through the air tonight, as we've got some very powerful flippers ready to send machines to the moon and back again. So without further ado, let's look at the lineup. And an interesting lineup it's looking up to be. Gnome 2 hoping to use their scoop to push away the machine Monty, as well as BattleBot's machine Voltronic. King B Powerworks hoping to give a lift on to Janky Shanky and the Lobster Thermidor. But first it's the Power-Shaped Robot Chief Clenny hoping to get out Chaos 2 and the flipper of the Lime Kipper. Chief Clenny, Lifter. So the machine's considered a lifter, but at the same time, it's got a saw blade at the back. But I guess they decided to stick with lifter because the lifter is the main feature. As well as the fact that it's a half barrel design, so if it's flipped up and over, it can easily roll back into action. 4-wheel drive as well. Yeah, the front weapon isn't all that effective, and it is very easy to flip. Let's be real here. Chaos 2 Flipper. Quick and nippy, and a very powerful CO2 gas power flipper on this machine. It's limited CO2 gas supply, we know this for flippers, but the high ground clearance as well, that could be an issue for Chaos 2. Other than that, I don't overly see much going wrong for them, unless you manage to get in a very, very good axe shot on the back and hit the CO2, or anything else vital. The Lime Kipper Flipper. Well, that isn't the most English name you've ever heard in your life, then I don't know what is. The Lime Kipper comes in with a CO2 powered flipper, and if I'm honest, it looks like the love child between Chaos 2 and Bulldog Breed. Its high ground clearance at the back causes problems, it can self-right, which is a plus, but limited CO2 gas supply, and it's easily flippable.
Robot ears, stand by.
Chaos 2 with the CO2 powered flipper, the same as the Lime Kipper, and Chief Clenny with the lifter and circular saw.
3,
3, 2, 1, go.
Now, the Lime Kipper immediately up and over, and Chaos 2 quickly darting across the floor, and roly-poly goes Chief Clenny. The Lime Kipper flipped himself over again? I think the flipper is too powerful there. Chaos 2 underneath Chief Clenny and flipping them up and over, and onto the wall. Now that's going to cause problems, because I don't think they can right... No, yeah, they're gone. And meanwhile, the Lime Kipper righted. They're moving again. Chaos 2, Chief Clenny trying to flip them out of the arena. Not doing so well there. Instead, flipping them up and over. And over the Lime Kipper. Interesting. I wonder how that's gonna work. How did they go? What was that came out? A tank! That was the canister, the CO2 canister. See that it was! It's gone! Oh! That's damage! Well! How do you tally that up? Who knows? Also, what's wrong with Chief Clenny? I don't know why. There's a bit of the panel that's just sticking out. I don't think that's really gonna cause any problems. They're up and over. And Chaos 2, I think, trying to do to Chief Clenny what they just did to the Lime Kipper. They got him ready, up against the wall, trying a flip, and again, and out they go! And that's it! That's the end of Chief Clenny Chaos 2! winner of the fight and progressing to the goal. Whatever. Hey, he's upright. Well done, Chaos 2. But them into the gold. Meanwhile, Chief Kleiny into the silver. And the Lime Kipper into the bronze. And there you have confirmation of the lineup with Chaos 2's dominance. And next up, we've got King Bee Powerworks, Janky Shanky, and Lobster Thermidor. King Bee Powerworks. Lifter. Similar to Chief Kleiny, who we've already seen in this heat, the front weapon is the main reason why it's called a lifter, the lifting forks, but it also contains a spinning weapon at the back. This machine is also four-wheel driven, but it is invertible. It's a very compact box, a little bit tiny as well, and it's kind of easy to flip as well. Janky Shanky Control Bot. I don't know who thought this machine should be named that, but I immediately love it. Janky Shanky is a control bot with a front crushing claw. It can self-right, which is pretty good, and the team says there are no weaknesses. None. I wonder how they feel going up against a flipper. Thermidor Flipper. Ah, the Lobster Thermidor, the flipper, what are they again? Pincers. The pincers and the two ginormous truck hub wheels. It has a good CO2 flipper, so I am expecting a lot from this machine. I think it's going to do some really good damage. If it gets flipped up and over, that's not going to worry it. It can self-right. Yeah, I think its only real issue is either being flipped or running out of CO2.
Roboteers, stand by.
King Bee Powerworks with the circular saw at the back and the lifting spikes. Thermidor with the flipper. And Janky Shanky with the crusher lifter attachment.
3,
2,
2,
1.
1, go.
That's good. Well, King Bee definitely the quicker of the three, already across the floor. Meanwhile, Janky Shanky crushing Thermidor, who's trying to throw them over. But look at the power here from King Buxton already. Well, oh, now they're up and over. Great. That's not really going to affect them though. They can drive both ways up. Is that problem with their weapon though? It seems stuck up. That could prove to be a problem. Meanwhile, Janky Shanky is throwing Thermidor up and over. Now throwing over the King Bee Powerworks. King Bee definitely the quicker and faster, but Janky Shanky living up to the name Control Bot, because it's controlling Thermidor too. It's controlling Thermidor. King Bee's on this side, and that's giving them great use for the circular saw on the underside of Thermidor. And now Janky Shanky lifting King Bee up and over, and they nearly went out the arena there. And oh! Well, Janky Shanky up and over, and I thought that would happen. I thought a flipper would be able to deal with Janky Shanky, and flung over and nearly out. Now it's Thermidor who's up and over. In trouble. King Bee once again up and over. This is quite a fight, I have to say. And Janky Shanky up and over once again. King Bee flung. Where's the Shreemec, I wonder? They say they have a Shreemec. Thermidor's up and over again. Janky Shanky giving chase to King Bee, who drives into the wall and angle grinder, and is picked up by Janky Shanky. Now on the side, where they can get immobilized. Thermidor coming in, flipping them up and over again. This is a very hectic fight. It'll be difficult to call who wins this if it goes to the judges, who will be marking on style, control, damage, and aggression. And right now, everyone's being aggressive, so who's more in control, I wonder? That'll be the key. Right now, Janky Shanky, Thermidor up and over. King Bee definitely not in control. Janky Shanky is controlling them on the side. Janky Shanky flipped by Thermidor. Now King Bee's flipped. Janky Shanky's off right. Everything's happening. Whoa! What was that? Well, who knows? But Janky Shanky once again on the attack, and oh! Kingbay's gone out the arena! Well, that's them gone out! And now it's between Janky Shanky and Thermidor. Thermidor righted. And what's happened to Thermidor? Is Thermidor mobile? Yes, they are! Janky Shanky righting! Is Thermidor mobile? I think they are. I'm assuming so. Well, I can't tell right now. Janky Shanky's just controlling them across the floor. I'd assume so. Janky Shanky got great power. So if this goes to the judges, I think on control and aggression, this would go to Janky Shanky, as they are being more aggressive and they are pushing away at Thermidor. Thermidor flipping Janky Shanky up and over again, though. Well, not over. Oh! Up and over! Now that's a weird, interesting little thing. Janky Shanky self-rights again, and Thermidor up and over. Now, who will come out on top of this, I wonder? Well, Thermidor's stuck in the angle grinder, and I'm wondering if Thermidor's run out of CO2, because there is a limited gas supply for CO2 weapons. Up and over again goes Thermidor on the angle grinder, and I think Janky Shanky's got this. Oh, the flipper still works. There still seems to be power. And Janky Shanky, great control here. They've been dominated this entire fight. Once again, up into the air goes Thermidor. Down goes the pit. Thermidor up and over and into the pit. Oh, and Janky Shanky following suit. Well, that's not going to change anything. He's gold. Janky Shanky into the gold. Thermidor into the silver, and King B Powerworks out of the arena and into the bronze. And there we are, confirmation as Janky Shanky goes through to the gold, even though he ends up in the pit. Thermidor into the silver. Next up, Gnome 2, Monty, and Voltronic. Gnome 2. Rambot. Okay, what the hell is this? I have questions for Gnome 2. What is that face? What is his head wearing? Why is there a fan on his back? I have no idea. The only promising thing about this machine is the scoop, and that's kind of blown away after you realize that it has a very high ground clearance, and it's not all that quick either. So my thoughts on this machine, yeah, it's getting its butt handed to. Sorry. Monty Spinner. A homage to the machine Monty from The Big Bang Theory. Someone saw that and decided they want to actually make it and enter it into a proper competition. Monty has a spinning blade that can drop down like an axe, which is basically its only weapon. Seems low to the ground, so getting underneath it might possibly be a little bit tricky. But at the same time, it might not be all that tricky after all. If a machine with a flipper can get underneath, I don't know, maybe. Voltronic Lifter. It can also develop as a Rambot. It's basically all this machine is. It's a wedge with a bit of a ramming notion at the back. But of course, at the wedge there is its lifter. I wouldn't say it's the most effective, but it does get the job done. Its exposed wheels, I don't think they're going to be a problem. It can get stuck up and over, and on its sides. I think up and over is more of an issue. But let's be real here. They're fighting Gnome 2. Gnome 2 is going to lose to this thing.
Roboteers, stand by.
Voltronic with the lifter. Monty with the dropping circular saw, and Gnome 2 with their scoop.
3, 2,
1, go.
I'm not seeing much from this. Well, Monty not moving, the saw's down and they're stopping them from moving. Voltronic trying to get a lift on them to no real succession, but the helping hand from Gnome 2. They are now up and over. So Monty's gone! And look at this from... Well! Gnome 2, who I thought was going to lose in this fight, has just beached Voltronic on their backside and immobilized them! I wasn't expecting that! Gnome 2! So hang on a second! Let me just see if I've got this right. Monty, who immobilized themselves right from the start, they enter the bronze. Voltronic, who are now beached and immobilized, into the silver. And Gnome 2, who's currently pushing Monty to what I presume to the floor flipper, will be going into the gold rumble to join Chaos 2 and Janky Shanky. There was the floor flipper in action. Not the greatest performance from the floor flipper, let's be honest. Now Monty placed, well, there we go. Hey, up into the air. And now Gnome 2 up and over. Look at this. In they come to try and get the floor flipper to activate. It throws Monty over, but sends Gnome 2 flying into the air and over. Great stuff. I was not expecting that ending, but Gnome 2 somehow makes it through to the gold. Voltronic shockingly ends up in the silver rumble. Monty didn't get going there in the bronze. So this is how it lines up for our 3 rumbles. Chaos 2, Janky Shanky, and Gnome 2 will be meeting each other in the gold rumble. Chief Clanny, Thermidor 2, and Voltronic in the silver. But first, the Lime Kipper, King B Powerworks, and Monty in the bronze.
Robot ears, stand by.
Here we go, the bronze rumble. The Lime Kipper, King B Powerworks, and Monty. This should be interesting.
3, 2, 1, go.
Well, it could have been, except Monty's immobilized themselves again. The Lime Kipper being pushed by King B. Not much really happening, really. The Lime Kipper seems to be struggling to drive. And King B is just spinning around on the side. Is there a problem with King B? In comes the Lime Kipper to get something done. And underneath Monty, and throwing them into the air, and they've thrown themselves up and over. And that's actually caused King B to come in. Well, look at this. And that's all it took for King B to come into play. The Lime Kipper gets underneath Monty, flips them into the air, and they flip themselves over. And King B now have full control of the Lime Kipper, and the Lime Kipper, they can self-right, but they're not. Is there a problem with the CO2? Did that flip damage it, or did they not fully fix it after the canister came out in the last fight? Either way, the Lime Kipper, they're done for. King B Powerworks just using them as a toy. Monty's just been left forgotten in the corner. Well, I don't think King B had to try hard in this fight, did they? The Lime Kipper, well, they can't even get back on their wheels, really. King B's not letting them, probably for good reason, because the Lime Kipper has a flipper which they can use to throw them over, and the Lime Kipper in trouble. I'm pretty sure they're pretty much immobilized and out, and King B pinning them against the wall. And I think it's safe to say this is King B's fight. That's it, and King B, through to the death or glory Caesar's called. That was kind of a cakewalk for King B Powerworks. A fairly effortless victory for King B Powerworks. Monty already mobilized, the Lime Kipper dead. Next up, Chief Clanny Thermidor 2 and Voltronic.
Robot ears, stand by.
Silver Rumble time. Chief Clunny, Thermidor 2, and Voltronic, who will be going to the Death of Glory to join King B Powers.
3, 2, 1, go.
Interesting. Voltronic immediately slamming across the floor. Thermidor, on the other hand, is there... Nope, here they come. Up and over goes Chief Clunny. Voltronic's over 2, and flipped now from Thermidor, trying to right themselves. There's no point. They can drive both ways up, giving Thermidor a little lift now. And Thermidor flipping! Voltronic with another weapon! Brilliant. And another flip too. Well, you will leave your weapon up, Voltronic. Look at this. Here, flip. Good attack. So, well, I think... Isn't Neo's Chief Clunny staying out of this? Interesting. And Voltronic seems to have their weapon up. Thermidor, however, seems to have the more effective weapon. Their flipper definitely doing more. Chief Clunny is just... Chief Clunny, you're supposed to be getting in on the fight, not cower in the corner. Well, while they're being a Yellow Belly coward, meanwhile, Thermidor flipped up and over by Voltronic. Self-rights. And Voltronic, I think this will be a good fight between Thermidor 2 and Voltronic, but look at this! The pincer of Thermidor in on Voltronic! It's actually... they're actually caught! And do my eyes deceive me? Chief Clunny getting in on the action! Well, now they're getting involved in the fight, because at least now they have a chance to actually be effective, to be aggressive. But I think this might just go in on a bit of damage here. If this does go to the judges, it will be marked on style, control, damage, and aggression. That might work for Chief Clunny though, coming into the backside with the circular saw. No real sparks. Is their weapon even working, or is it just stationary? Probably just stationary. Meanwhile, Thermidor 2 still giving Voltronic a merry dance. There's nothing else I can say about that. It's interesting. Thermidor, I think Thermidor and Voltronic are stuck together here. Interesting. So, how's this gonna work? Who will be more on top? Well, unless they can find a way to get free, which might be something Chief Clunny can do! And flipping Thermidor over! They've righted themselves! And that's a good attack from Chief Clunny! The first proper attack! And now Voltronic up and over! And on the backside, a good flip! But look at this here from Chief Clunny, flipping Thermidor up and over. They self-right, and then Thermidor gets underneath and throws Voltronic onto the backside. And that is Voltronic immobilized. They are gone. So now it's just Chief Clunny and Thermidor. Thermidor flipping Chief Clunny up and over. Roly-poly, Thermidor awesome up and over. Self-rights. Now, will Chief Clunny be coming back into this? I assume so, yes. And now Chief Clunny has to deal with Thermidor. But, well, Chief Clunny, they're surviving, so they might just be able to survive to the judges. Or maybe they can lure Thermidor into the pit. Or do they need to? What's happened to Thermidor? I think Thermidor's stuck. They're not moving. Have they been counted out? I think they have been. They're stuck underneath the floor, the pit release button. They're free now. And Chief Clunny nearly overturned Roly-poly. Flipped again. Now, is that count out for Thermidor gonna count for anything, I wonder? Chief Clunny reversing away at Thermidor. Thermidor into the pit! Well, Chief Clunny reversing, Thermidor too far over, and gone. And if Thermidor hadn't driven into the pit, they would have won that, but they are out. Next up, Chaos 2, Janky Shanky, and Gnome 2.
Roboteers, stand by.
Who will be going through to the Heat Final, Chaos 2 or Janky Shanky? And also, which one of these two machines will be going to the death or glory with Gnome 2, who definitely will lose this?
3, 2, 1, go.
Because Gnome 2, well, immediately being picked on by Janky Shanky, and I thought that would happen. And back onto the wheels. Chaos 2 didn't do a follow-up attack on Janky Shanky though. Interesting. But now Chaos 2 trying to get at Janky Shanky, and now being attacked by Janky Shanky and lifted and flipped over. Now that could cause a problem for Chaos 2. They can solve right, you know. But I think, well, Janky Shanky! Wow, how about this? A good way to get rid of Chaos 2! But not so much! And look at this here for Gnome 2 and Janky Shanky! They're in trouble! And Chaos 2 may just have survived! Only just! Gnome 2 up and over! I think it's safe to say Gnome 2 are immobilized! Chaos 2 on the attack on Janky Shanky! Few flips not overturned, but that'll cause a problem. They're on the wall, and now up and over, and up goes Gnome 2 onto the front, and that's it. Gnome 2 and Janky Shanky up and over and immobilized. Chaos 2 coming in. Well, that's it. They're both out! Chaos 2! The winner! Well done, Chaos 2! And now coming in, possibly to try and flip them out of the arena. Who to do that to, though? Gnome 2 or Janky Shanky? Who knows? But right now, it looks like Chaos 2's trying to right Janky Shanky. They have done. And now Janky Shanky righted. Chaos 2 running away. Interesting. And now Janky Shanky coming in, trying to get hold of Chaos 2, while Chaos 2 trying to get around to the side. But Janky Shanky too quick and throwing Chaos 2 over. And this could be telling for the Heat Final. This could very much be telling for the Heat Final. If Janky Shanky makes it on the side goes Chaos 2, and if this makes it to the Heat Final, Chaos 2 will be in trouble against Janky Shanky. Let me remind you who Janky Shanky has to fight. Gnome 2, Easy, King Bee Powerworks, they beat them before, and Chief Clunny. Meaning Janky Shanky will be able to reach the Heat Final to fight Chaos 2, and it will be them dominating Chaos 2, which they're doing now, despite great acrobatics from Chaos 2. But Janky Shanky very much on top and doing a very good job. And Chaos 2, they will be running out of CO2, I can assure you. But now, well, Chaos 2, probably a bit too lightweight really for Janky Shanky. And how will Chaos 2 get out of this? Well, down goes the pit. So can Chaos 2 get Janky Shanky in, I wonder? Well, intriguing. Oh, and now Chaos 2 trying to self-right, but they can't. Janky Shanky's on top of them. And now Chaos 2 underneath Janky Shanky. And a flip. And again. And another flip as well. And I'm wondering Is there a problem with the drive on Chaos 2? It seems a bit compromised. In fact, it seems to have completely died. And I'm thinking that's a telling sign. There's no life in Chaos 2. They've stopped. Janky Shanky is spinning in the light. I mean, they're in the Death of Glory now. But Chaos 2 throwing themselves up and over. And nearly flung out the arena by Janky Shanky. But there's no drive in Chaos 2. Chaos 2 immobilized.
Cease.
But that through to the Heat Final, but that's some serious repair work. They're gonna have to seriously get the drive back in working order at Chaos 2 for the Heat Final. But it's Janky Shanky and Gnome 2 who fall and end up in the Death or Glory, where they'll be facing off against King Bee Powerworks and Chief Clunny for a spot in the Heat Final to go up against Chaos 2.
Robot ears, stand by.
Only one of these machines can go back to fight Chaos 2 in the Heat Final. And we all know it's not going to be Gnome 2.
3, 2, 1.
Well, at least we're thinking that. King Bee Powerworks immediately darting across the floor. In comes Janky Shanky and throwing over Gnome 2. So that immediately lines up with my original assessment. Gnome 2 going out, King Bee Powerworks coming in on Janky Shanky, Chief Clunny getting on the action too. And this is a good attack here from King Bee, getting some payback on Janky Shanky, who's now up and over. You see Chief Clunny coming into the backside. Now, I predicted Janky Shanky winning this. Chief Clunny up and over, righted. Wow, I did predict Janky Shanky winning, but right now they're stuck in the wall by Gnome 2, and everyone's ganging up. Well, you can't blame them. Janky Shanky is the real threat. What did King Bee Powerworks just do? I don't really know. But everyone's ganging up on Janky Shanky, who are close to going out. They're gone. Janky Shanky's gone. They're out. Look at this. What happened? I don't know, but a combination attack from everyone. I think Janky Shanky did themselves in. They pushed their own weapon against Chief Clunny, and it caused them to go out. I mean, now Chief Clunny's up and over and effectively immobilized. They can't do anything, they can't move, so now it's just between Gnome 2 and King Bee. And, well, up and over goes Gnome 2. Chief Clunny's back in the fight. Don't know why they're back. Technically, they're immobilized and out. And now, King Bee pushing away at Chief Clunny. And there's the drop zone on Gnome 2, and it's actually righted them. Well, that's the first time we've seen the drop zone, and it's used to right the machine. Gnome 2 back into fighting spirit. Stuck in on the wall. King Bee pushing away. Chief Clunny still trying to show they're in this. King Bee, I guess, wanted to be nice and giving them an attack, throwing them over. Roly-poly. Back onto the wheels, and now on the attack on Gnome 2. This is very interesting. This is actually, surprisingly, quite a fight. And this is going to go down between Gnome 2 and King Bee Powerworks. Chief Clunny already immobilized, so if this goes to the judges, they'll be marked on style, control, damage, and aggression between King Bee Powerworks and Gnome 2. And on aggression and control, I'd have to go for King Bee. Gnome 2 rolling rolling? That's not a word. Rolling Chief Clenny up and over. Is that really going to affect Chief Clenny, though? They are a barrel design. They can roll back onto the wheels and rolling over King B. Interesting. The pit's down! And that was nearly King B down the pit. Now, with the pit descended, I think it's safe to say all that's going to happen now is, well, there's King B throwing over Gnome 2. And I think King B has this fairly much in the bag. Chief Clenny, though, well, Chief Clenny's already immobilized. I think this is all King B right now. Gnome 2. Well, Chief Clenny pushed into the wall. And now, King B Powerbox in the pit! What on earth? How? Well, I don't believe it! Gnome 2, the winner! And Chief Clenny's driven into the pit! And Gnome 2's in there as well!
Cease.
I cannot believe it! Gnome 2 wins! Look at this! King B riding up the side of Gnome 2 into the pit! And then Chief Clenny following suit! I am absolutely Star Trek. This is just confirmation. Janky Shanky out. King B Powerworks out. Chief Clenny out. Gnome 2 makes it to the Heat Final to fight Chaos 2 for a place in the Grand Finals. I have nothing to say. Let's just let this battle commence.
Robot ears, stand by.
Chaos 2 and the unlikely Gnome 2 for the Heat Final.
2, 1.
This is our Heat Final. How has Gnome 2 made it this far? Well, kudos to them. And kudos to them doing good against Chaos 2 right now. They're surviving the flip. Except for there. There's a miss time from Chaos 2. I'll admit this. They're doing better than I thought they would. They're up and over again, though. Now, how does Gnome 2 plan on coming back like that? But there's Chaos 2 flipping them on their backside, and now their wheels cannot touch the ground. They're righted now. Now they're gone, flung up and over. And Chaos 2 giving them a good push for good measure as well. And that's it. There's no more life left in Gnome 2. They are effectively out of it. And something's up with the drive for Chaos 2. I think Chaos 2's broken down again. I guess it didn't fix what happened with Janky Shanky. Who cares? They're through. 3 slots down and 6 more to go. Chaos 2 goes on to join Snowstorm and 259 to the Grand Finals, although they've got some serious repair work to do if they have any hope to claim the crown. Until next time, replenish your food and drinks, and have a good night. Bye-bye.